Don, thank you for coming to Glace today. You're on record saying one of the highlights of your career was refereeing the '87 Canada Cup. Now, in that final game, or I know you did more than one game in that series, but in the final game you're doing the series, it's Canada against Russia. Now, you're a good old Canadian boy. How difficult was that for you personally, or was there any difficulty at all not showing the maple leaf?
Well, that was probably the most pressure. I've done 11 Stanley Cup finals. Probably the most pressure I've ever felt. Now, I think I was 26 years old at the time. And I think in, well, '87, that was my third year full-time as a referee in the National Hockey League. So all that being said, game one, the nice thing was that I worked the semifinals, Russia versus Sweden, and I think I did all the Russian games, like the regular tournament games, and they were like 7-0 win-losses with me as a referee. So I did this quarterfinal, did the semifinal. Back in those days, at amateur level or juniors, world championships, if the Canadian referee was the best referee in the tournament and the Canadian team was in the finals, he had no chance, no matter how good he was or how lucky he was, because luck has got a lot to do with it when you're in tournaments and games. They weren't going to get selected. So I was actually, in a crazy way, cheering for anybody that played against Canada, so I would have a chance at the gold medal game or the championship game. But I remember I was out on the golf course, and my boss, John McCauley, God rest his soul, my mentor, no cell phones then, and the pro come out to me. I was on the 6th or 7th hole, and he says, "Cole, there's your boss is on the phone." Susan gave him the number, told him you're out here, so I went in. And he says, "We just come out of the meetings, and what they have, Canada, Russia, and then all the officials go in the meeting, and they say you have to select the officials for the next 3 games, the 3 finals." And the Russians come out of the meeting and ask me for all 3 games. So, I mean, so when he tells me this, I thought he was pulling my leg. I said, "John," he said, no, you got to get home. You got to get on a plane and get into Montreal tomorrow for Wednesday night to work game 1, but I'm not going to work you all 3 games. We're going to give Paul Stewart, our American referee, he's going to do game 2, but you'll be in game 3, but I'll stand by game 2. So it's funny, and it's in Hamilton, Montreal game 1, but Hamilton, Ontario game 3. I lived 11 miles from the rink. So just even more pressure. And after game 1, I mean, I just got raked for 4 days over the coals in every newspaper because the Russians beat Canada in game 1, and I disallowed a Mark Messier goal that he did kick in the net. That would have tied the game up and maybe been a momentum changer. Messier, Gretz, they just raked me through the newspaper like you couldn't believe. I think one newspaper, the only way I know this, my retirement, my wife had a bunch of pictures. I think one picture had me in there and me holding the Russian flag or something. And this is the day before game 3, the biggest game in the world at that time, you know, because we weren't involved in the Olympics then. So, I mean, I remember driving and leaving, and my wife, Susan wouldn't even go to the game. She said, "I can't." She said, "I'm a mess." I said, "You're a mess. I got to go over there and put my freaking skates on and go out there. You're a mess. You enjoy your time at home here. I'll go try to nail this thing in the next 3 hours and get out and get home alive." But no, it was, you can't even tell you what the thought process was driving over there and parking the car and people seeing who's coming in and throwing stuff at your car and calling me all those names, those derogatory names that you call people with different nationalities. And yeah, it was, but you know what? The best experience of my whole career.
I was asking Matt while I was watching the hockey game, is it difficult not being a fan when you're out on the ice? It's fine times.
I'm sure of that. I mean, I still in my final year, I'd see some goals Crosby would score or some, and I'm pointing at the net and going, how the heck do you do that? That was pretty cool. And then I have to go report the goal. Yeah, so we're always hockey fans. We like good hockey goals. We like good hockey plays, especially if you're involved in them and you have something to do with them. Yeah, so you'll always be a hockey fan, but you just got to know how to separate the two.
We could stay and talk here all night. There's a couple of things I wanted to ask you, but one is with the development of younger officials, not only in Nova Scotia, but right across Canada, but dealing with the group you were dealing with this weekend. What are the prime requirements for associations to deal with when you want to develop your officials?
Well, I mean, Glace Bay is a perfect example this weekend, is commitment to their officials. I think it starts at the top. I really, really believe that. I'm a grassroots guy, and I think I've had too many experiences in the country where we try to do good things and promote and all that, and we get turned down because comments are, well, don't worry, they'll show up anyway. So I think in-season development, what we did today, these guys will do that, but I just think we have to take our officiating side a little bit more serious at our top end with the administrators. And I got to tell you, not because of Randy Pulser, not because I'm from this province, Hockey Nova Scotia are unbelievable in including their officials and their development. They in no way want the officials to fall behind the development of their players, their coaches, wherever else they develop. And that's male and the female program. I mean, Atlantic Canada in general, we have 8 or 7 or 9 guys now, officials, that are under NHL contracts from Atlantic Canada. That's more than Ontario. So someone's doing something good down here. And we just gotta, because I know people will not go to a certain province in hockey tournaments. I hear it all the time. Why? Because of poor officiating. We're scared for our kids. We don't want them to get injured over there in that province or out there in that province. So until we as administrators understand the importance of developing our officials constantly and stay and raise the bar a little bit on them, we're going to be more successful locally by doing so, because now you'll be able to host tournaments because you have good officiating. And these guys in this weekend, I'm going to tell you something, Glace Bay, the province of Nova Scotia, are the envy. Because I've talked to 4, 5, 6 people about doing the same thing in other areas. They still don't believe that this was happening today in Glace Bay. So we got some news for them.
We're going to let you have the last word by telling us what a message you would leave for all the young referees, for the parents, whatever in Glace Bay this week.
Just, be patient. Be patient, support. I always tell the kids, if the parents are yelling at you and they're not happy with you, they're just yelling at the black and white sweater. I really believe if this young man or this crew would walk out here tonight and have a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi with the parents, as angry as they would be, they would see the human side of that person that wore the jersey and knows that he cares and he has a passion and that he earned this assignment today, which is a big assignment. We keep going back to that. But I want the parents and the coaches that are, in most cases, that are parents, buy into the program. Just buy into the development, support it, and help. I know emotions are involved there, winning, but just, support them. Buy them a Coca-Cola one night on the way out. Send them over a bottle of water. But it starts at the top, and we have to include everybody. A good session would be to have some parents, and some coaches, and the referees.
A big thank you to Don Kohaeski, Ron Pulsiver, and Matt McPherson for being with us on the Armchair Sessions.
Cool, that's it. Awesome.